How you doing? My name is Frank. With this video, I'm going to give you more details about my upcoming book, Azreal, the Story of Steve James. Now, just in case you didn't know, I've written several books already. All of them have been independently published. I've written 8 comics in my Tercona comic book series, a romantic comedy novel called The Taming of April, and 3 books about a 6-foot, 6-inch tall female wrestler named Olivia the Mighty Kraken. This next book, Azreal, the Story of Steve James, is a horror thriller novel. It's also suspenseful and has some supernatural stuff in it as well. With all my previous books, I knew my target audience. The comics are for kids, or what I like to call all ages. The Taming of April, to me, is like a rated R romantic comedy novel, kind of like The 40-Year-Old Virgin or Wedding Crashers. Now, the Olivia wrestling books, I still say they're PG-13, but some people might say they're rated R. But all those books have definitely not been young adult, that's for sure. So those were the target audience of my previous books. Now, technically, Azreal, the Story of Steve James, I would say is probably rated R if it was a movie, or mature audiences. But if you're a fan of horror, thriller, ghost stories, supernatural, then you're going to like this book. But to be honest, it's mainly for me. I read a lot of inspirational quotes, and I saw one by Rick Rubin, where he said,
you know, one of the things I say in the book is the audience comes last. And the audience comes last, not because I don't care about them or I don't like the audience.
I have to agree on that.
In service to the audience, they have to come last.
Yeah. You see?
If we're trying to make it for them, it won't be the best thing it can get. It'll water it down.
Now, just like I've said in previous videos, I want to remind you that this book, Azreal, the Story of Steve James, does not come out until September. More specifically, Tuesday, September 16th. But just in case you were wondering what the synopsis is or what it's all about, here is the blurb in back of the book. Steve James is divorced, depressed, and stuck working long hours at a factory in a life he's desperate to escape. He numbs the pain with wine and lives in the shadows of the stories he loves to write. Fan fiction based on his favorite anime, Death Touch. He thinks his ADHD is a curse. What he doesn't realize is that it's also a spark of something powerful. Then, on the night of his 31st birthday, he meets Kim Sweet. She's witty, sassy, stunning, and obsessed with his writing. More specifically, his fan fiction. Finally, someone sees him, listens to him, and encourages him to write more. So he does. 3 stories, 3 deaths. And Kim wants to hear every bloody detail. But the more he writes, the more blurred the lines between fiction and reality become. Because Steve's stories aren't just therapy anymore. They might be something far more dangerous. Now, in every single book that I write, there's always a dedication page in the very beginning. Now, I'm not going to go through every single book and tell you about all the dedications, but the dedication for this book, Azreal, the Story of Steve James, is dedicated to me. I basically wrote this for myself, just like what Rick Rubin said to do. I don't know if I said this in a previous video or not, but I'm not Steve, and Steve isn't me. But I put a lot of my own problems in Steve. And just like most writers, I write what I know. Now listen, I'm not divorced. I've been married for 19 years. But a few years ago, I went through a depression. And the outline of this book came out of that depression. Right now, I am happier than I've ever been in my life. I got a great job, and I'm writing. And I've got more books on the way. But yeah, Azreal, the Story of Steve James is a more personal book for me, and I hope you enjoy it too when it comes out in September. More specifically, September 16th, that is a Tuesday. Oh, and by the way, this book will be the very first book that's available on ebook and a hardcover as well. So save the date. If you like horror, thriller, and suspense, you're gonna love Azreal, the Story of Steve James. Coming out Tuesday, September 16th. That's all for now. Thanks all for watching. And as always, thank you for your support.